Right now, multiple people are in the hospital after a school shooting in Southern California. An update from law enforcement. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says what we heard during the public impeachment hearings yesterday amounts to a description of bribery on the president's part.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
First breaking news in from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. The suspected shooter at a Southern California high school is in custody. The shooting happened this morning at Saugus High School in Santa Clarita. That's about 30 miles northwest of Los Angeles. Officials say the suspect, who is believed to be a student at the school, is being treated at a local hospital. CNN reports at least 6 people have been taken to hospitals and 3 are in critical condition. This is a developing story, and we will continue following it all day long on Channel3000.com. Turning to weather now, we could see above freezing temperatures today. Stop the presses. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has your first alert forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be close later this afternoon, Mark. It depends on how fast these clouds clear out of here, but we could be talking about the first temperatures above freezing in about 4 days in Madison. If not, we'll have to wait until tomorrow afternoon. Madison right now still looking at cloudy skies, 25 degrees, and that's not what we want to see if we want to get above freezing today, because those temperatures have remained pretty steady. Northwest wind at 8 miles per hour, and it feels still like the teens outside. 26 in Lone Rock, 27 in Mineral Point, 29, one of the warmer spots in Boscoville, and 28 right now in Janesville. Still those wind chills in the upper teens and low 20s, so it's going to continue to feel a little bit chilly this afternoon as we head into the rest of the day. Pay no attention to that snow. I think we're done with that for the time being. Temperatures in the low 30s for highs later this afternoon. We'll see skies clear. We'll be back into the upper teens to start off tomorrow. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will talk more about our next chance of snow as we get into this weekend and this slow warm up on the way in your first alert forecast.
Like hearing that warm up.
Yes.
All right, Dave, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Madison police say they are looking for a group of teenagers involved in a carjacking on the west side. This happened at High Point Road near the Marcus Point Cinema just before 9 o'clock last night. A 60-year-old man says he was sitting in his car when 4 teen males threatened him with a knife and stole his car. His car was found unoccupied a few blocks away. A reminder from law enforcement to move over or slow down when you see emergency flashing lights. The Dunn County Sheriff's Office posted on Facebook that a deputy was rear-ended in a squad car on I-94 yesterday. They were parked to assist with a disabled vehicle. There were no serious injuries. Officials wrote that drivers failing to move over in these situations is the reason motor vehicle crashes kill more officers on duty than any other cause. Prosecutors say DNA from a discarded cigarette have led to charges against a man accused in a fatal tavern shooting in Oshkosh. This happened about a month ago. A man was killed after following an armed robber outside. Police got a tip that Casey Cameron matched the description of the suspect. They followed him and collected DNA from a cigarette he tossed out of his car window. In matched crime scene DNA, he is charged with first-degree intentional homicide. Lawmakers are gearing up for more testimony in the impeachment inquiry after the first public hearing brought out a new revelation. As Nicole Killian reports from Capitol Hill, it ties President Trump to the push for political investigations in Ukraine.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi says the testimony from Wednesday's hearing amounted to a description of bribery on President Trump's part.
The bribe is to grant or withhold military assistance in return for a public statement of a fake investigation.
Bill Taylor, the top diplomat in Ukraine, delivered a surprise revelation during the first public hearing in the impeachment inquiry.
The member of my staff could hear President Trump on the phone asking Ambassador Sondland about the investigations.
Taylor says the staffer overheard a conversation between the president and ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. Taylor said Sondland told the staffer the president cared more about investigating the Bidens than Ukraine.
What this call indicates, as other testimony has likewise indicated, is that the instructions are coming from the president on down.
President Trump says he doesn't recall the conversation.
I know nothing about that. First time I've heard it. The one thing I've seen that Sondland said was that he did speak to me for a brief moment, and I said no quid pro quo under any circumstances.
The staffer who overheard the conversation is scheduled to give a closed-door deposition Friday, but Republicans say they really want to hear from the whistleblower who triggered the impeachment inquiry.
I will not allow trial in the Senate to go forward with my vote unless the whistleblower comes forward.
I will defend the rights of the whistleblower vehemently. Vehemently.
The next person to take a seat for public testimony is former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Ivanovich, who was recalled from her post after President Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, orchestrated a smear campaign. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Ambassador Gordon Sondland is expected to give his public testimony next week, where he'll likely be asked about having to revise his own closed-door testimony after other witness transcripts were released contradicting him. More local news now. Business owners on Monroe Street are hoping that shoppers choose to buy local as many start prepping for the holidays earlier than normal. Construction on Monroe Street ended a year ago now, but store and restaurant owners there say it's been a struggle getting people to come back in. Ben Bradley, owner of Everly Restaurant, says after a long winter, summer was good for business on the walkable street. He's hoping to keep that momentum going, even with some snow on the ground.
It's all independently owned establishments. We have a great group of merchants here, a lot of people that, and it's pretty close-knit, and especially, now that we're about over a year past road construction, we're doing everything we can to remind people that Monroe Street's here.
3 established businesses closed during the 10 months of construction last year, and 2 others opened and closed during that project. A reminder that Small Business Saturday is 2 weeks away. And teachers and students at schools in Appleton got a surprise gift to keep them warm.
These will be well used by our students, especially with this early cold snap. We have kids scrambling for hats and gloves and boots.
Gloves and knitted hats were left hanging on fences outside several schools this week. It's still a mystery who put them there. Each bag came with a heartfelt, personalized note for its new owner, letting them know the items were a gift. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
There's something super special about a cookie when the oohs and ahs are endless, and we've got the recipe for you. Here in the test kitchen, sampling food morning, noon, and night is the norm. Last week, Patty, our test kitchen director, went around the office with a platter of cranberry shortbread cookies. And what stood out was the reaction these got. All you heard was, "These are fantastic, and can I have the recipe?" And the raves went on and on. So with feedback like that, I knew I needed to share these with you as soon as possible. So here we go. All we do is cream together a couple sticks of butter with some sugar. Once that's light, we beat in an egg yolk, vanilla, and a touch of salt. Now, the flour goes in, and after that's mixed, we slowly add in some dried cranberries, white chocolate chips, and chopped walnuts. We drop teaspoons of this onto a cookie sheet, and into the oven they go. These only take about 10 minutes to firm up, and they're done. Let me tell you, if you can resist these, you're a stronger person than any of us in the test kitchen. Between the delicate shortbread that holds all this together and all the add-ins, these are one special cookie. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for cranberry shortbread drops so you can pass these out to your gang. I'm Howard with Patty in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweeter way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good." Yum, yum. How good.
They look good. Next at noon, good news from our first alert weather team. A slow warm-up starts today, and we could see 40-degree temperatures next week. Dave has your full forecast next. Well, Facebook is cleaning up fake accounts, and the Razr flip phone is back, featuring a touchscreen and large price tag. Diane King Hall has your Money Watch report.
Walmart's grocery business boosted its bottom line in the latest quarter. The world's biggest retailer says profit totaled nearly $3.3 billion. Sales slightly missed forecast at $128 billion. Still, investors cheered its results heading into the crucial holiday shopping season. America has a debt problem, and it now stands at a record. According to the New York Federal Reserve, households now have a record $14 trillion in debt. The red ink ranges from consumer debt to mortgages and student loans. Consumer debt is now more than $1 trillion higher than the peak hit in 2008 during the Great Recession. Facebook still has a fake account problem. The company says it has removed more than 3 billion fake accounts. The accounts were taken down between April and September of this year. Nearly all of the fake accounts were caught before they had a chance to become so-called active users. And how about this for a Throwback Thursday? The Motorola Razr is back. The skinny jeans friendly flip phone will return in 2020 with at least one familiar feature. Yes, you can still snap it shut. It will be foldable and feature a full touchscreen on the inside with no keypad. A noticeable difference from the Razr of the aughts is the price, $1,500. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thanks, Diane. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial is down 24. The NASDAQ off almost 8, and the S&P 500 is down fractionally. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. She's in the radio bar. How are you?
Yeah, looking forward to that forecast. I think that may be the crescendo of the day for me today because it's quiet as ever in the markets right now, like watching paint dry. So I thought we might get a little bit of an energy update today when they release the ethanol stock report, but the market doesn't see it that way. What's interesting is crude oil supplies continue to climb. I appreciate your emails and phone calls about propane issues. It's not that we have a lack of propane. It seems to be a distribution issue that's all the way into southwest Wisconsin. Farmers in Iowa and Minnesota have been reporting to me that they are running out of propane as they try to dry down this crop. So kind of following through on that to see what the hang up is. The supplies are out there, but apparently trying to get it to us is a little bit of a challenge. We are continuing to monitor the crops out there as well, and also looking forward to what's going on with our Wisconsin hemp. I talked yesterday to Brian Kuhn from the Department of Agriculture, who oversees our Wisconsin hemp. The weather skunked us again this year. The spring planting weather was bad. The fall harvest weather has been bad for hemp, too. Of the 1,300 licensed growers we had in Wisconsin, only about 800 to 900 of them even dropped any seed in the ground. Mold has become a bit of an issue on the hemp crop because harvesting with the snow and all that moisture and that kind of thing can make it really, really difficult. So we're still trying to gather harvest data on what the hemp crop of 2019 looks like here in Wisconsin. But remember, they're already starting to take permit applications for those growers that have been involved right through March of next year. Barrel cheese in Chicago today, another big drop, down 4 3/4 cents to $2.23 1/4. 40-pound block cheese down a penny at $1.90. Well, AA butter gained back that 1/4 of a cent it lost yesterday, now at $2.06 3/4 per pound. So just like corn and soybeans, Mark, our Wisconsin hemp crop had some challenges. But boy, I'll tell you, compared to corn and soybeans trying to grow Wisconsin hemp, you think a Razr is expensive? You want to try growing Wisconsin hemp. That's expensive, too.
Yeah, it's been a rough year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's keep our fingers crossed on this forecast.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're no show tomorrow, so have a good weekend.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
All right, here is Dave now with that forecast, hopefully breaking the freezing mark today.
Yeah, Pam and I both have our fingers crossed for that because temperatures have been very cold over the last 4 days. In fact, every single day so far this month has been below normal. You don't really need me to tell you that. You just need to step outside for a couple of minutes. And with the below normal temperatures, we've had our fair share of snow. That's an understatement. Already at 7.5 inches of snow for November so far, with the 0.2 of an inch that we picked up from that system yesterday. So here's our snow comparison. Normal for this time of year, we should be at about 1.2 inches of snow. So far, just over 15.5 inches. So yeah, you can see the discrepancy there with those snowmen. So we are about 14.5 inches of snow ahead of where we should be, and that is about 1,300% of normal. But NBD, no big deal, as the kids say. I do think that we'll be relatively quiet in the snow department going forward with our next chance of some light accumulation on Sunday. Visible cloud track is showing slow but sure clearing to our north. So I think over the next couple of hours, we will see that sunshine start to peak out, and that will help those temperatures get into the 30s for highs later this afternoon. Right now, though, Still cloudy, unfortunately, on the Edgewater Skycam, and that means temperatures have been pretty steady in the mid-20s in Madison and in Watertown, 28 in Janesville. The warm spot close to 30 in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien at 28 as well. It still feels like the teens, though. You factor in that wind chill, and feeling like 16 in Madison, 20 in Janesville, and 18 in Watertown. On future track, we noticed the clouds starting to thin a little bit by later this afternoon. Hopefully, we can get a good amount of sunshine before it says sayonara for the evening around 4:30, it seems. It gets earlier and earlier every night. Then we should be mostly clear as we start off tomorrow with temperatures in the upper teens. But I do think that we will definitely get above the freezing mark finally. Some of us for the first time in about 5 days tomorrow afternoon. Even with the northerly wind, I think we'll have enough sunshine to just squeak into the mid-30s for highs on the 7 to 10 day forecast. We stay in the mid-30s for Saturday and Sunday. Again, some flurries possible on Saturday night, and for Sunday, chance of some light snow, maybe mixing with some rain in the afternoon hours as the temperatures get close to and slightly above the freezing mark. Really not expecting major impacts from that snow at this time. We'll keep you updated, though. And the clouds sticking around for much of the start of next week, but those temperatures finally getting closer to normal in the 40s for the beginning of next week.
Might even melt some of that snow.
Maybe. Imagine that.
All right, Dave, thank you. We have a breaking news update from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Southern California officials confirm one female is dead in that school shooting in Santa Clarita. This morning, 2 male patients are in critical condition. This is a live look at the students who had to evacuate the school. We will continue to monitor this and have updates on channel3000.com throughout the day. Our Pet of the Week is coming up. Marissa DeGroot for the day. The County Humane Society is here with our Pet of the Week, Rose. a senior kitty. Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
Tell us about this pretty lady here.
Yep, so Rose here is 8 years old. It makes her technically a senior, but just on that edge.
That's not that old.
Yep, but November is Adopt a Senior Month, so we are celebrating all of our little seniors at the shelter now.
So what's her story?
So Rose came into us. Fortunately, owner was no longer able to care for her. But what we do know about Rose is that she's kind of looking for maybe a nice retirement home, someplace nice and quiet. She did live with other kitties. So if she's getting a nice slow intro and you maybe have nice mellow kitties at home, she'd do well. But I think she'd honestly prefer maybe being kind of the queen of the castle.
Yeah, I think so. And she says she's a Lonely Hearts Club member.
Yep, so Rose has been with us quite a while, so she is a member of our Lonely Hearts Club, which means that her adoption fee has been lowered to just $10. And you're not going to see Rose back in the cat cages. That's because she is having a great time helping out in one of our staff offices.
I love her face. She's so pretty. Great color.
And I've heard she maybe takes a little bit to warm up right away, but after she's been in the office for a while, she loves to snuggle on a lap and also hide in the recycle bin and kind of jump out at you.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Put a lid on the garbage can. All right, you got an event going on State Street.
Yep, you can head down to State Street Brats all through November and December. Tito's Handmade Vodka is going to be donating $1 per cocktail made with Tito's vodka, up to $2,000.
Wow.
Yep, and so it's all helping animals in need, just like Rose.
GiveShelter.org for more information on that. Tito's only at State Street Brats?
Only at State Street Brats.
Okay. Last week I was not here.
Yep,
Susan
we had
helped
a
out.
little kitty. We had Sunburst there, and he did get adopted, but we do still have a lot of kittens at the shelter.
That's unusual for this time of year.
It's kind of a late kitten season, I think.
Well, I'm glad that he got adopted. Let's get Rosa home here. Yeah, I can see she just wants to kind of mellow out.
Yep, she's just looking for a lap to snuggle on.
All right, Marissa, thank you. Have a great weekend. For more information on Rose and all the animals available, go to GiveShelter.org. 838-0413 is the number to call, and check out State Street Brats during the month of November. All right, Dave has one final check of the forecast.
And Mark, this forecast is looking a bit rosier as we get into the next couple of days, with temperatures close to the freezing mark by later this afternoon as those skies clear over the next few hours, so not as cold outside. Your day planner temperatures will dip back into the 20s and actually start off in the upper teens with mostly clear skies tomorrow morning, so off to another cold start. But after that, those temperatures above freezing, yay, as we get into this weekend. A chance of some light snow on Sunday, could be mixing with some rain in the afternoon. Not expecting major impacts there. The clouds sticking around for much of the start of next week, but temperatures will be in the low 40s Tuesday and Wednesday.
Back to autumn. That'll be good. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.